Discuss overview of Python. What are the different features of Python is having? We know that Python is a high level language and object oriented language. It is very much expressible and it is having a very easy syntax to write the code. So let us go for a detailed discussion on this overview of Python as it is coming next. Python coding can be done in three different ways. First one is the immediate mode, next one is the script mode, and the last one using some integrated development environment, that is IDE. So at first we are going to discuss how we can do the coding in Python in immediate mode. So here we are opening our command prompt and we are going to the respective folder, that is our users, this is a username and Anaconda 3. How to install this Anaconda, we have discussed that one in our other video, that what are the steps we require to install this Anaconda. So for this one we will be requiring this python.exe. So this python.exe, if you click, then this command prompt will open with this respective prompt, that is the triple greater than symbol. So here you can write the code in the immediate mode to run our scripts. You can find this one. So we are writing this one, print hello world. So in this way we can go for this. So a is equal to 100, b is equal to 200, c is equal to a plus b, and then we can go for print c. So it is getting printed as 300. So this is the mode which is known as the immediate mode. That means we can also do the same using our command prompt here. So here we are having our command prompt. So I'm going for this users and this then I'll be going for this Anaconda 3. We can go for this Anaconda 3. Here we are having our Python, so we can go for this. So this is a python.exe is there. We can run it and we are going to get the same screen whatever we had. So this is known as the immediate mode. So typing Python in the command line will invoke the interpreter in the immediate mode, and you can directly type in Python expressions and press enter to get the required output. And if the Python prompt, it will tell us that interpreter is ready for our input. So let me type some code here. So I'm going for this print, say 100 plus 200. You can easily find it is calculating and giving me the outcome. So this is our immediate mode. Now let me tell you that how to do the coding using the script mode. So for that purpose we are just opening a notepad for the typing. So here I'm writing the code. There is a print. So we have typed this code here and we are saving this one in the respective folder, that is Anaconda 3, and giving the name as say prog1.py. Giving the name as prog1.py. So we are saving this one. So prog1.py is the file name. Now we are coming back to our, I'm getting back my prompt here. So let me check whether the file has got saved here or not. Yes, the file has got saved with the 41 bytes here. So now we can execute this code using Python. So Python will interpret this this program. So we're going for this Python prog1.py. You can see that the program is executing. So this is the mode known as the script mode, where we can type our code, and this mode will be used to execute the Python program written in a file, and then we are executing it using Python and the file name. You can get the output here. So this is the program we wrote. Okay, and there is a respective output we are getting. There is another way to type the code, and that is our integrated development environment. So for that purpose we are just invoking this Anaconda. So Anaconda navigator. This is Anaconda navigator. Now here we are going for this Jupyter Lab. It will open it in a browser. So here we are having, so I shall go for this plus. So going for this Python 3. So you can find that this is our untitled.ipynb. So that is the extension. Here you can write the code. So print, you can execute it. Welcome to the world of programming. In this way you can go on execution. So you see it has opened into our Chrome browser. So on the default browser, this notepad will get opened. There is a Jupyter Lab. So now we are going for this Jupyter notebook. We tested with the Jupyter Lab. Now we are going for this Jupyter notebook. So this is the respective folder structure it is telling. Now we are going for a new Python 3. So here also you can type. You can go for the execution. In this way, also using this Jupyter, we can also go for this typing. So we have tested with the Jupyter Lab and Jupyter Notebook. So two ways we have done. Now let me go for the spider. So I'm using this part. So here you can see that the sessions are coming. So this is a way in which we are typing, and we can go for the execution. You can find that hello world and welcome is getting executed. So there is another way to execute the same. And now you can find that we can go for the run cell. So only this particular line I'm just going for this, and then I'm going for the run cell. You see only the hello world has got executed. So only this welcome has got executed. In this way also you can go for partial execution. Let us suppose we are having variables, say a is equal to 100 and say b is equal to 200. Now we are going for say c is equal to a plus b, and then we are going for this value of c is going to get printed. So the sum of and is. So that is another way to type format. We shall be discussing all these things into details. If you go on executing, we can find that so the sum of 100 and 200 is 300. We're having the variable explorer here. You can see the value of a and b and c will be displayed. You can find that the value of a and b and c are getting displayed. So I'm just making this one as 600, making this one as 500. So now if I go on executing, you can find that the values have got updated. So this is another advantage of this. This is a spider. Also here also you can have the line by line execution. As I told you that if I mark this and if you go for run cell, you are getting only these two lines are getting executed. So that is another fantastic way to execute this Python program. So as we discussed that Python is nothing but one cross-platform programming language, and it executes in Windows, Mac OS, Linux and Unix, and also it can be executed ported to the Java and .NET virtual machines. And nowadays Python is available in some Unix and in Mac pre-installed, but in that case obviously the versions might be the older one, so it is our better choice to install it, the latest version, and explore it according to our requirement. We can explore that one. And now let me discuss some of the different features of this Python. Python is an object-oriented language, which means that it can model real-world objects, and it is also dynamically typed because it carries out type checking at the runtime. So dynamically typing means during the runtime the variable's data type will be decided here. The name Python came by Guido van Rossum, and it came after the committee group, that is the Monty Python, and from there this name Python came here. If you consider C Python, then in case of C Python architecture, we are having parser, which uses the source code to generate an abstract syntax tree. We are having compiler, which turns the abstract syntax tree into Python bytecode. We are having interpreter, which will be executing the code line by line, and we are also having the respective three components. So that is our parser, compiler and interpreter. So parser will convert the source code to the, as I told you, that is the abstract syntax tree. Compiler will convert this abstract syntax tree into the bytecode format, and then interpreter will come, which will execute this code line by line. Python is having multiple different components. There is the functions, classes, modules, packages and so on. We know that functions is nothing but a collection of statements named into one. Classes are nothing but, in case of object oriented programming, so it supports the classes and the objects. A Python module is a collection of related classes and the functions. We're having the packages, so package is a collection of related modules, and we'll be using multiple different packages in our current tutorial on Python here. If we consider the features of Python, the Python is very easy. That means very easy to learn and understand. It is interpreted, so it is interpreted, executed line by line. So this makes it easy to test and debug. If we consider the respective object oriented, it supports the classes and objects. It is free and open source, so that is another advantage for making the Python so popular. So that is the language and its source code are available to the public for free. No need to buy a costly license. It is portable, that means we can run Python on Windows, Mac, Linux and other platforms as I discussed. Python supports the GUI programming, that means we can develop a GUI interface for our users, and it is having a large library. That is one of the very important feature of Python, that is the Python provides us with a large standard library, and you can use them to implement a variety of functions. And multiple different frameworks are available in Python. We're having, they say, Web2Py, we're having NumPy, we're having Pyramid, we're having SciPy, we're having Django. So many different frameworks are available, and these frameworks are required to develop our softwares in multiple different applications for multiple different case studies. So that's why Python is so useful. And the common extension for Python file will be .py. So there is a common extension which we had in our notepad. We know that in our notepad we had that extension, that is a proc1.py. so it is a normal extension for a Python source file. We're having other extensions, that is pyc, that is the compiled bytecode. We're having pyd, that is a Windows DLL file. We're having pyo, that is a file created with optimizations. pyw, there is a Python script for Windows. pyz, there is a Python script archive. So now the last question I want to discuss, that why should we learn Python? Because using Python we can go for developing a website, develop a game, perform computer vision, do the machine learning, because in our machine learning we're having this Python and the R programming languages, and Python is one of the most popular language in our machine learning and artificial intelligence domain. Enable robotics, perform web scraping, we're having perform data analysis, automate a web browser, performing scripting, perform scientific computations, build artificial intelligence oriented applications and so on. So that's why Python is becoming so useful, and we are having multiple different constructs in Python, like our list, we are having tuples, we are having dictionaries, we are having comments and document string, and we are having series, we are having the sets, we are having sequences and so on. So many things, and we will be covering all these different aspects of Python in our tutorial. So please go through all the videos in the sequence in which they are appearing in the tutorial, and this is our overview on Python. Thanks for watching this video.